feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this.
Alright, so if you look on this board, I've put something on the board right here. But before I even go into that, in case you are seeing these things over here, these are just some of the things I placed over here to remind myself constantly that these are the most important things I need to know as far as this challenge is concerned, so that I can become the profitable forex trader I want to be, right? And the most important of them all is the one right here: liquidity is king. I'm not going to lie to you. Everything based on what I've studied so far, what I came to realize is that liquidity is king in everything, because price always moves to where liquidity is. So yeah, liquidity is king. And apart from that, we have imbalance, order blocks, inducements, break of structure, change of character, IFC, institutional funding candle, order flow, and those stuff, right? So let's talk about today. Today I've been able to study one entry model, which is change of character with inducement entry model. And I want to basically explain this based on my understanding of the whole market, right? So there are various types of entry model that is available. But before I even go into that, let me just make this thing clear, or let me just put it this way. I'm explaining this based on my understanding of what I've studied so far. So in case you also you are also an SMC trader or something like that, and you might have idea about this stuff, change of character with inducement entry model, feel free to share your knowledge with me in the comment section and I'll gladly go through, right? All this thing I'm doing just for me to become the profitable forex trader I want to be within these 120 days. So yeah, feel free to share with me any knowledge I thought you have about this. Feel free to share with me in the comment section, right? So let's go and explain this right now. So before you can even use the change of character with inducement entry model, one condition has to be met, right? So there has to be a candle body close above previous liquidity level, right? There has to be a candle body close above previous liquidity level. If the candle went into the previous liquidity level, right, but it did not close above it, rather we have only the wick of the candle above the previous liquidity level, that means we cannot use this type of entry model, which is change of character with inducement. We can rather use change of character without inducement entry model, right? So I hope that is pretty much okay now, right? So now we have this over here. Let's consider this sketch over here. Of course, this is not the main forex market. This is just a sketch I've made to depict something, right? So we have price moving from here to the top here, then it started moving down. Change of character simply means price moving, changing in the opposite or going into the opposite direction. And a break of structure simply means price continuing in the same initial direction, right? So let's look at this. Price move from here up to here, right? Then we have a break of structure over here, all right? So after this break of structure, price went to a higher time frame point of interest, ATF POI, right? Higher time frame point of interest. So once price got into the higher time frame point of interest, price then moved back and created a change of character over here. Now we could have named this an IDM inducement, but it is not an inducement for one reason, right? It is not an inducement because already price went to tap into a higher time frame point of interest. Supposing price didn't tap into a higher time frame point of interest, we could have called this place an inducement. All right, it will be an inducement, and when price drop and break this place, then we will have the change of character over here. But in this case, considering the skeletal diagram I've drawn over here, price already went into a higher time frame point of interest, so this place automatically becomes our change of character instead of inducement, right? So I hope that is understandable, right? So what happened next after we have our change of character is we now have to expect an inducement to take place, because price close candle body above this previous high over here. So we have to expect inducement before we can make our entry, right? So change of character occurred, price move up. Now this moving up is a valid pullback, all right? This is a valid pullback. So our inducement level is going to be here. And after this pullback, price came down, then move up. Now after price move up, we now have our inducement in place, okay? Remember, initially we just have our inducement area. It wasn't an inducement, but after price tap into it, we now have the inducement, okay? So after having an inducement, the next thing that we have to look for to make entry is an order block or an imbalance. Myself, I included imbalance because based on my back testing so far and all that I'm realizing, I kind of saw something from the chart that price sometimes go into the order block or just from the imbalance, then it move straight. So personally, I'll be taking both the imbalance and the order block, although it might be risky sometimes, but yeah, I'm comfortable with it, okay? So I'll be taking both the imbalance and the order block in my trading. If I start with the demo and go into the live, I'll be trading both together, right? But here, let's consider the order block, right? So we have to expect price to move into an order block before we make entry. And the order block, we have decisional order block and we have extreme order block. So this is one thing I also want you to understand, right? So if price, after taking out the inducements, price move to let's say decisional order block. Decisional order block is the order block right after the inducement. Now we don't look for the order block in this leg, but we rather look for the order block in the leg that moved down before the inducement was created. So let's assume this place right here is our order block and this one is a decisional order block. My drawing might not be perfect, but I'm saying this is a decisional order block. So let's consider it. So with a decisional order block, let's assume I'm doing this analysis on a 15-minute time frame and I've seen a decisional order block right here, okay? So I may not be able to take the trade directly from here. I need further confirmation before I can pick my entry from the decisional order block over here. So what I have to do is I have to go to the lower time frame. In this case, I'll consider 1 minute as my lower time frame where I'll make my entry. So once I go to the lower time frame, I'll have to look for what we call a single candle order block, and this will help me to take my entry, right? So let's assume we don't have the decisional order block, okay? I'm trying to explain the two scenario over here, decisional order block and extreme order block. So the extreme order block is the one at the top where we have price tapping into the higher time frame point of interest. So let's say we have an order block over there, and by now I believe you all know what an order block is. So an order block without an imbalance is not a valid order block, and another block which has not taken liquidity is also not an order block. So two conditions have to be met before you consider an order block a valid one. We need liquidity to be taken out, and after liquidity is taken out, we need an imbalance to consider an order block a valid one. So I hope by now you do understand that for me. Right, good. So as price waits straight to a higher time frame order block, we don't need any extra confirmation. So no confirmation, all right? We can just take our entry straight from there using our entry time frame. Let's assume our entry time frame is 1 minute. We don't even have to look for any single candle order block. We just have to look for things like, let's say, change of character and stuff like that. On a lower time frame, our entry time frame, then we make our entry. And I hope that is pretty much understandable. Okay, so this is something I just want to bring up right now. You see, of late I've been studying, but I just couldn't have the time to make videos available, right? So this is one concept, an entry model I want to bring up so that we can all learn from it. And of course, if you have something that you feel like sharing with me, go ahead and share it in the comment section below, right? I'll be glad to read through it and see how best this 120 days challenge can become fruitful, right? So I'll see you in the next video. And of course, if you are new here, then this is a 120 days challenge I am on and I'm trying to become a profitable forex trader within these 120 days. So if you like to follow me and keep yourself updated, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become part of this family. I'll see you in the next video. Bless up.